Sunday on Denver 7.
I feel like the time is coming to change, the time for just positive recognition in the Native community.
Working to better represent Native Americans. Details on the meeting happening today that could lead to lasting change. It's a trend moving across the metro, business owners feeling pushed out of their neighborhoods, why those in 5 Points are blaming outside investors. And check this out, students at DU now have access to snacks 24/7, and it's all thanks to AI.
Good morning and welcome to Denver 7 News. I'm Jessica Crawford. Happy Sunday. Let's take a live look outside right now. Lookout Mountain. Clearly, we're seeing some clouds this morning, but this is a little bit less than what we saw earlier on today, Lisa.
Yeah, things starting to clear out, and it's going to be a beautiful afternoon. We picked up a little rain overnight. Things are wet out there, a little damp this morning after those showers rolled through. A cold front racing through overnight, so it's going to be quite a bit cooler today. Right now, you're going to find some upper 30s to near 40 as you step out the door with a little bit more sunshine. Take a look at our warm-up. Still a few degrees below normal today. Should be right around about 50 degrees by lunchtime. We'll hit highs likely in the mid to upper 50s this afternoon. Denver's going to be right around 57. Now, the winds are kicking up behind this front, so unfortunately fire danger is going to be pretty high. Take a look at some of these wind gusts, upwards now of about 20 to 30 miles per hour. We could see gusts a little closer to about 40, 45 miles per hour this afternoon. So red flag warnings, Jessica, for all of eastern Colorado for high fire danger today. Coming up, we'll take a look at our next cold front. We have another one next week, and that one could bring a little bit of snow.
Thank you, Lisa. The push to better represent Native Americans across the state continues this morning. The Colorado Geographic Naming Advisory Board is meeting to get the ball rolling to remove the word squaw from dozens of landmarks. One mountain in Idaho Springs, renamed late last year, is now Mistahe Mountain. Denver 7's Christian Lopez joins us live now. And Christian, those in the Native American community say that this has been a long time coming.
Yeah, Jessica, and there's still a lot of work to be done, but the state is showing its support for these tribal communities. And as you mentioned, there is a meeting tonight where the Colorado Geographic Naming Advisory will discuss removing the word squaw from several Colorado landmarks. Back in November, the federal government declared the word a derogatory term and began the process of removing it and replacing it on federal lands. Over generations, the word became known as a racist term that belittles Indigenous women. And for many, like Morningstar Jones, who is a part of the Mistahe Coalition, it's a lot more than just a name change.
I'm feeling excited. I'm feeling just happy all in general. I feel like the time is coming to change, the time for just positive recognition in the Native community. Our voices are finally being heard.
And there are around 30 locations in the state that include this word that will be up for discussion during that meeting tonight. Live in Denver this morning, I'm Christian Lopez, Denver 7.
Thanks, Christian. Interior Secretary Deb Haaland will be in Colorado tomorrow. Secretary Haaland and Agriculture Secretary Tom Vilsack will be in Boulder County to discuss ways to fight wildfires. The visit is part of the Biden administration's rural infrastructure tour. The rebuilding process in Boulder County takes another step forward tomorrow. The county is hosting an online workshop with residents to focus on building code requirements and energy efficient codes. There's also hope that people will find out which neighborhoods will be cleaned up first. That report was expected to come out Friday. As of last check, officials are aiming to have work underway in the next 2 to 4 weeks. Tomorrow's virtual meeting starts at 6 p.m. You can register to attend on Boulder County's website. It has been a violent and tragic weekend here in the metro. Families and friends are grieving the losses of 7 people killed in car crashes Friday into Saturday. This, as Denver police are still looking for answers after a shooting led to one of those deadly wrecks. One of the people killed Friday was Uriel Reyes Medina. His wife says that he was in the wrong place at the wrong time. Shots were fired between 2 cars driving down Peoria Street near 39th Avenue. One of those cars then drove into oncoming traffic and into Medina's truck.
He was coming home to have dinner with his family, and to somebody's negligence, my kids don't have a father, I don't have a husband. I had to figure out everything on my own, and there's nobody to even blame at this point.
Friends have started a GoFundMe account to help that family. If you know anything that can help at all in this case, call Crime Stoppers. Despite recent controversy, Mesa County Clerk Tina Peters is now the leading Republican candidate for Colorado Secretary of State. Peters received just over 60% of the vote at the Colorado GOP Assembly. Secretary of State Jenna Griswold's campaign team sent out a statement on the results, saying in part, Tina Peters, through her words and actions, is a clear threat to Colorado's elections and to democracy itself. She's unfit to serve as Colorado Secretary of State. The statement goes on to say Peters is not only a threat to future elections, she's already failed as an election administrator, end quote. The campaign is referring to allegations that Peters tampered with election equipment. She was indicted following a long-running investigation into how sensitive election information ended up online. Peters is also separately accused of trying to kick a police officer who is detaining her in another case. She's expected to be arraigned in May. A former Teller County deputy is behind bars after barging into a home in the town of Florissant with an assault rifle, then threatening to hurt the people inside. According to court documents, 44-year-old Mark Bissett drove to a home on a four-wheeler, telling one of the residents that he would fight anyone. The victim tells police that Bissett seemed intoxicated. Moments later, Bissett would then return to the home with an assault rifle, telling the victim to open the door, threatening to kill him if he didn't. The Teller County Sheriff's Office says they fired Bissett, who's now facing multiple charges, including burglary, felony menacing, and criminal trespassing. Now to a historic Denver neighborhood where many local businesses have spent the last 2 years struggling amid the pandemic. Now some business owners in the 5 Points area say there is another threat to their livelihoods, and this time it's in the form of outside investors. Denver 7 CB Cotton explains.
Some businesses here in 5 Points tell me growth is a top priority, but after a recent lawsuit between them and an investment firm, they're left wondering who they can trust.
Like the intersecting streets of the 5 Points neighborhood, some business owners in the area feel they've crossed paths with bad interest.
We have community pillars like Welton Street Cafe and other companies and other businesses that are not here anymore.
And LeJean Vivens says that's because of predatory investors. He's a co-owner of restaurant Agave Shore and says last week he settled a lawsuit with an outside investment firm who became the de facto landlord. He says the firm offers to invest money to help businesses grow, but when things don't go their way, they push people out.
They were suing us for forcible eviction, for back cams, back rent, and other minor items. The cams are common area maintenance. It's snow removal, it's security, it's those type of items, the trash.
Denver 7 is choosing not to name the investment firm, but the firm still has ongoing litigation with other businesses in the area. Now that Vivens has settled, he wants to speak out on behalf of others who feel silenced or pushed out.
We definitely are scared for people who say, I'm here for black business. Well, the question I pose is it only the black businesses that you own a part of?
So on Saturday, he and others voiced their concerns at a meeting held to help connect black business owners with financial resources. But for Vivens, the meeting was about helping others protect themselves.
Who is here to protect us against landlords?
In 5 Points, I'm CB Cotton, Denver 7.
New technology is making grabbing a snack between classes easier for students at DU. We're taking a closer look at how that works. And the Arvada Kite Festival is today, where you can find this fun on a budget.